One of the three meanings of Satori is practice realization. Practice realization is an abbreviation of a longer phrase, which is something like I hear the teachings of the Buddha on matters like interdependence, impermanence, no self, suffering, and so on. I accept those teachings. Accordingly, I practice Zazen, and through practicing Zazen, I have the realization that those teachings are true. In realization here, having two meanings. Firstly, that from my perspective, my practice leads me to accept at a more fundamental level the truth of the Buddha's teachings, but realization also in the sense that my practice actualizes those teachings. And that brings into view the wider issue, which is the relationship between the teachings and practice, which is often problematic for many Zen practitioners who have an unfortunate tendency to be proudly ignorant. The relationship between the teachings and practice is a symbiotic one. So it's not simply that I do Zazen and I realize that the teachings are true and I can put the teachings away and never attend to them again, but rather the teachings enable the landscape of Zazen to be opened out for me, and my experience of Zazen enables me to understand the teachings in a different and deeper and more personal way. And looked at from that perspective, we can see the teachings not as a kind of progression where there is deficiencies in a perspective which are then dealt with by a subsequent development, but rather that that all the teachings map on, in some sense, to our experience in Zazen. So, for instance, we have the original teachings which focus very much on allowing thoughts to come and go freely, not getting attached to thoughts and so on. We have the later teachings on emptiness, and we have teachings, particularly in the Chinese tradition after that, which focus on suchness. And it's not that these different teachings represent some kind of progression, but rather they're locations in the landscape where we can come and go freely, like a little bird. So if our life is very stormy, then we may want to shelter in the cave of the original teachings, where we're just simply very attentive to our thoughts coming and going freely, and to a gradual embodiment of our sense of ourselves. And other times we might be freely flying in this vast space of empty awareness. And other times we might be very aware of this one piece compassion Zen, where everything exists in a felt suchness.